We are the champions, my friends. Da-na-na. The Rangers have won the World Series. It is a World Series podcast. We are going to talk about the World Series. We have not You have not heard from us since the World Series started. We gave our flowers to the team before that, saying how we were so surprised that they got there and how happy we were. Now we're champions. We're gonna get into it all. Um, Maybe that's all we talk about. Maybe we talk about football at the end. We'll see. Stay tuned. Before we get into it, shout out Shiner Bach, brewed in Texas for Texans for the Texas Rangers. You guys know they're probably drinking a lot of this down there in Arizona, and you know they're going to be drinking a lot of this at the parade tomorrow on Friday. So, Rangers World Series dance party. Let's get it. Okay, here we go. Cody, Jay, the Texas Rangers have won the 2023 World Series in 5 games. Cody, emotions, thoughts, feelings. Talk to me.
The honestly, so 2011 hurt me so much, and I thought that I never would love baseball again. And the Rangers have done something that I didn't think was possible, and they've made me love baseball again. Baseball was my first love, the only team I ever cared about growing up. Like I remember the late 90s when all the hope that I had as an elementary school kid that when we get into the playoffs, we go and win the World Series and then getting crushed by the Yankees every year. And then, as a young adult, those teams with Elvis and Michael Young and I just always thought we were always going to be the bridesmaid, never the bride. And the fact that it's happened is just so surreal. I really don't have words for it. If you're not from Texas and you're not from the Dallas Fort Worth area specifically, I don't know how to explain it on a level that makes sense. Because I feel like if you're other teams that win championships, like that city is happy and excited, but it's a different level of love that the DFW area has for the Texas Rangers. They've always been the lovable losers, and we're winners, and it's amazing. It's awesome. Um, Baseball's number two. Like I would say, football, Dallas Cowboys is number one in the DFW Metroplex, but the Texas Rangers are not far behind the Dallas Cowboys in terms of support and fan and viewership, and it's awesome. I wish I was in Texas to celebrate.
Oh man, Cody, I wish y'all were there with me at the stadium yesterday too. It got crazy. It got wild. It was a quiet first 7 innings as well, but like the tension in the air was just ridiculous. Um when we got that first run and the crowd goes crazy, everyone's giving high fives, people are chugging beers and just getting crazy. Oh my gosh, my emotions right now after being there in that atmosphere. It was a watch party. I know it was a away game, but it was a watch party at the Ranger Stadium, and that is an experience like y'all missed out. Mark, you're
Yeah.
right down the road. You missed out, bud. I'm sorry. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fantastic. I'm
I
not.
didn't know you were going until you sent me a picture of the stadium. Just
I
just
didn't.
so you know, Jay.
I didn't know I was going till 11 a.m. that morning, and tickets were sold out at noon. So like
Okay. All right. Yeah.
it was pretty fast.
Did
And
they wait? Was the whole stadium sold out?
so they had like basically all the seats available except for the bottom. Not all concessions were open, but they didn't need to be, man. It was jam packed. We
Did you
tried to.
get one of those? Did you
What's
get
that?
one of those $250 meals, like the
Absolutely
bone?
not. But I felt like I spent pretty close to it on $15 beers and overpriced Chicken Express chicken tenders. But you're in the moment, you don't give a dang.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. That's awesome. No, Jay, obviously you were there and I saw videos of it. It looked like a great time. And I watched it from the comfort of my own home. Um, it was amazing. I can't even explain the amount of emotions for that specific game, how it went. It's funny because after game one, I thought this is it. I think we got this. We're a team of destiny. And just the way we won all four of the games that we needed to win was honestly like it's hard to put into words, just the joy and the jubilation and just the utter happiness and like, holy crap, I they did it. The Rangers 2011 has been fully wiped from my brain. It's actually just been fully wiped in general because Nelson Cruz retired today. And so he's the reason we lost. So he said, you know what? I did what I could for the league this whole time. I've been trying to go to teams to help the Rangers somehow win a World Series. They finally won. I can retire now. Um, I'm psyched. For the next, I guess 12 months we get to say we're World Series champions. I think we can do it again next year. We'll get into that later, probably on another podcast. But I'm very happy. I can't believe it, honestly. Like you wake up, you go to bed, you're like, oh my God, we're World Series champions. You wake up like, holy shit, we're still World Series champions. And I'm happy for everybody. Obviously, the guys on the field. I actually was listening to the radio today, and I don't know, Cody, if you did this, or Jay, I'm pretty sure you did not do this. I listened to probably 5 different baseball podcasts just to relive like
Wow.
everything that was going on, talking about the Rangers, how awesome it was, their whole season. And then on the radio, I heard Derek Holland called in to 105 through the fan, the afternoon show that Mike Bassick is on. They're buddies. Bassick obviously does some of the pre and post game stuff for the Rangers on Bally Sports Southwest, but he sounded like one of us. He was hyped. He's like, I'm just so happy. I can't believe it happened. He was obviously part of that, both those teams in 2010, 2011. And he was ecstatic. He's like, I'm excited for the fans. I'm excited for the players. I'm excited for the old players. Chris Young, Michael Young, they're still in the front office. All those guys. He was just, it's just so funny to see a guy, a former player who did spend, his best years here in Texas, playing for the Rangers, but is from Chicago, but how excited he was. So, it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah,
We're world champs, guys.
I didn't listen to 5 different podcasts, but I rewatched Game 5 3, 4 times, and it was just exciting. That was
the whole game.
I think no, like the recap of it, and I just kept like rewinding the highlights and like making little notes and everything. Like that was a solid, well played game.
It was great.
Probably almost everything you want in a World Series game when you really break it down. It was great.
Yeah, it was. I was sitting. It was past Canyon's bedtime, but I let him stay up to sit with me and kind of watch. He kept asking me to be like, "Dad, do you want to see my really cool Bumblebee Transformer mode?" And he crawls out on the floor. But he got excited with me when I yelled on that final strike, and I yelled when Marcus Semien hit the home run. I yelled, got the first run. And so to share that moment with him, that's something that, he's not going to remember it. Like, I don't remember the Cowboys Super Bowls, but he's going to have that. And that'll be something I can share down with him. Like, you were up with me watching the game when the Texas Rangers won the World Series. So that was just incredible. The emotions, like I said, man, I mean, I didn't break down and cry, but I thought about it. And today I didn't rewatch or I read a bunch of articles just kind of going through the season and stuff, but I listened to Eric Nadel, his call on the radio. And that's just, I mean, talk about like a legend in the sport, a guy was there in 2010, 2011 calling those games. He's been with the Rangers forever. He's a classic voice. And hearing him say the Texas Rangers are the World Series champions is just, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it right now, like literal goosebumps on my arms. So Um, baseball is one of those sports that uh, it's a long grind. It's not. I'm not going to pretend and say I watched every moment of every game of this season, but I followed this team closely. I was invested. I was. It was a team that you felt had a chance, and then honestly, the season went kind of how the World Series went. Like we were on highs, and then we'd have incredible lows. Like like game two was not great,
Yeah.
and then we're in the clinching game where no hit for 6 innings, and you're like, are we going to have to are we going to do it in Texas, or is this going to be in the back of your mind? You just start thinking, well, 3-1 is not impossible. It's been done before, like and that's all that doubt and fear and old emotions from 2011, like slowly like start creeping in, and
Mhm.
then we break through, get that run, and then we just pile it on there and just add all the insurance runs. Keeping Spores in was awesome. I mean, there's so many players I want to talk about on this team, but I think we got to start with Bochy. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, let's start with Bochy. We can just run it back, kind of like a highlight of maybe each game here. But Bochy, like, let's start with him. That guy, he's been even keeled the whole year. We pulled him out of retirement. I'm gonna mention again, I just can't believe Chris Young he's just the man. And every single person during the post game mentioned Chris Young from
Yeah.
Dallas, went to Princeton, 6'10, very tall. Bochy, though, pulled all the right levers. You can't really say that he mismanaged really any part of this game. Maybe if you want to go back to like game 4 using Leclerc, looking back, didn't matter. Did not matter. But I think he made a huge impact just on the psyche of this team. Obviously, the players play the game, so I'm going to give a lot of credit to them. But just holding down the clubhouse, old guy manager. Who'd have thunk it? Everybody's trying to get younger, go analytics. Old guy manager. He did it.
Well, he took
Four-time World Series champion.
and he's taken 3 different teams there.
Yep.
Just a legend in the game. Might be the best manager of all time. That's up for debate, but that's been
Hey,
thrown around out there. And
he's
the way
he's not he's not done. Rangers aren't done. He could
no,
win
no,
2 more,
oh, easily.
5
Honestly,
more.
we will. I think maybe at the end of this podcast we can, or at the end of the Rangers talk, we can talk about next year moving forward. But we're set up very nicely, and it's very
Oh
exciting.
yes. Oh yeah.
So Bochy,
But
what, he was retired for what, 4 years, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
4
I think it
years.
was 3. I think it was 3 years. He was managing the French national team for the World Baseball Classic qualifiers.
Wow.
wow.
Not
He
he. They
got
didn't
bored
even
quickly
make.
then.
They didn't even make the World Baseball Classic. But that, and then he's like, maybe I could. Maybe I want to do this again.
In the first year.
First
Unbelievable.
year, amazing. But yeah. So game 1, that was the Adolis Garcia walk-off hit or walk-off home run in the 11th. But to kind of run it back, Evaldi struggled a little bit. He couldn't really find command. Arizona put 3 on him in the first inning. But Corey Seager, bottom
Dude,
of the 9th, he's coming up. What were you thinking, Cody?
I was at BJ's Brew House watching this with my buddy Wyatt. And when Seager comes up to hit, I'm like, he's going to tie it right here. Like I told him, because
Hell
I,
yes.
I had so much faith in Corey Seager.
I love him.
It's going to look wrong. They haven't announced the MVPs, right? They do that in the offseason. It's going to look wrong when Corey Seager is not the AL MVP because
Oh
he was the
yeah.
best player in baseball this year. And
Yeah.
every time he stepped up to the plate, you thought something good was going to happen. You believed it. Like and when he stepped up, I mean, when he hit that bomb, I mean, it was a bomb. It was very obvious. Like,
Bomb.
like Garcia's home run almost seemed like an accident. Like when he hit it, I didn't think much
Well,
of it, and then
yeah,
kept going.
staying
Yeah.
alive, slapped it the opposite field, but the dude, his biceps the size of my head. So
But Seager's was just an absolute moonshot. You knew it right away, and it just like I'm in BJ's yelling and having people look at me weird, but I was so excited, and it was such a cool moment, and you knew we were going to win that game. Like, you don't do that and not win that game. So
Yeah.
that was just an incredible moment.
Yeah. I actually didn't have much. Like, we were going in the ninth. I was like, just need two. That's it. Like, no big deal, basically. Right. And one Seager hit, I was like, there's no way we lose this game in one way or the other. And it took till the 11th, but big boy Garcia came up. And yeah, that was great. Game two.
Real quick,
Not
just from
so.
game one, just real quick memory from game one, when he pinch ran for Heim, and so we get the bases
Oh
loaded, and
God, yeah.
Austin Hedges comes up and just looks like he's never swung a bat before. I did have some doubt and fear there that we might not win, but just want to bring that up because that was a funny moment from the series.
I thought it was just funny. Yeah, I was like, well, this is damn it. You know, it's like, why? Why
Bases
is he?
loaded and
Yeah,
2
the one
outs, and
guy.
the one guy that you don't
Was it
want to
his?
hit on you.
I think that was his first postseason at bat.
Yeah, it was his only
Maybe
postseason
it's.
at bat.
Oh yeah. Jay, any thoughts from game one?
I don't know. That was just another good game. I never really felt like we were ever out of it. Just like y'all said, when Seager comes up to bat, I was like, here we go. All right, opportunity. We can totally do this. So probably this whole series, I never felt, even after game two, I felt fine. Like Rangers can do this. Mark, from the get-go, this series is like, this is who we wanted to play. So I had confidence in the Rangers. Mark
I
put
will.
that confidence on me.
Yep. I was happy to see them. I felt like after game one, we were the team of destiny. After game two, that we lost 9-1. Montgomery got a little knocked around. They scored 4 runs late against Perez. Who cares? But after that, I was like, should I be worried a little bit? Like I will say after game two, I was very slightly questioning myself.
We had won like 8 games on the road in a row.
Yeah. No,
At the
I
time,
know.
what were you
I
worried
know.
about?
But I'm just saying, like, when you lose a game 9-1, there's a little bit of doubt that creeps into your brain. It's only natural.
Game two lined up for me where I actually had so my wife and kids had stayed in Texas, and so I planned to play 36 holes on that Saturday.
Wow.
Made this plan a month ago, so I ended up playing golf and didn't watch much of the game at all. And like when I was actually done golfing, the game was over, and it was 8-0. I was like, oh, okay, well that's and I play terrible in golf, so me and the Rangers must have been connected because I played had never played golf before, so maybe it was the baseball gods punishing me for not watching my team in the World Series. But
Well,
that was the only game that I didn't get to watch much of, so I don't have terrible memories of it, so that's good.
yeah, Jay and I were at a Halloween party. We were kind of watching it and like would go do something else. We're like, well, this game kind of sucks. I guess we'll just,
Yeah.
keep an eye on it just in case. But who did it happen? I guess, right?
No, it didn't even happen.
Yeah, never happened.
But game 3 though did happen. This was the I'm dubbing this as a John Gray game. He came in relief of Scherzer, who left with back tightness. He threw 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs. Scherzer, by the way, for how scared we were of him playing or starting, yes, he did get hurt, but he did have 3 shutout innings before that, and he looked good. Maybe that's all he had anyway. So I think it might have been good that his back kind of tightened up a little bit there. Other than that, it was Gray. And then the 3 horses, Saboras, the Chapman experience, and then Leclerc. Let's see. What was this one? This was a Seager home run. To put him put him up 2 basically, or to make it 3-0. And that's all we needed.
This is the game we lose Garcia too, right? Torn oblique.
This is the game. Yep. His last it wasn't his last at bat. Second before last at bat.
So,
swing.
I mean, you feel like a little grim, and you're like, oh man, at least we came out with the win and everything. We'll see what happens in the next game.
You're right.
Next game, you have nothing but confidence come out from your team, baby.
Yeah, I don't have Cody. You got anything from game 3?
John Gray was incredible. And game 3 was where I really started to notice that John Smoltz was just being a douche. And I don't know why he didn't like the Rangers. But dude, like I've never heard a commentator just like publicly like not just dissing the opposing team the whole time. Like it's supposed to be a neutral observer. I don't know if John Smoltz like maybe him and Greg Maddux didn't get along, and so now that Greg Maddux is, but whatever it was, dude, I'm going to remember it for John Gray being a beast and like pitching like an all-star for 3 innings, and John Smoltz just being a complete dill hole.
Yeah, I don't Smoltz just I don't know what his problem was, to be honest. He's probably the most mad that the Rangers won the World Series. I don't know. Maybe he's got something against Bochy or something.
Wasn't it weird though? Like it was weird. Like
yeah, it's just the Diamondbacks, they can come back. It's like, okay, man, like say something good about the Rangers.
He said that like the Diamondbacks can beat you in a lot of ways. The Rangers only got one way. They rely on that long ball. I'm like, you've not watched a single ounce of the season. Like, get out of here, dude.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks can beat you in a lot of different ways, except the most important way to win games. Because in the playoffs, I think I heard it today that teams that out homered won their record was 25-4 if you win the home run game, the battle.
Yeah.
So if you hit more home runs, you win 25 games and only lose 4 times. So those 4 times we're not in the World Series. So it's I don't know. Also, if you watch a team that's bunting guys over to try to manufacture 1 run at a time, in 2023, it's fun. It's also like old school National League, circa 2005, non-Barry Bonds 2005 baseball, and it doesn't fly anymore. And yes, they're fast, they're athletic, they play good defense. The Rangers do all the same things, except they hit bombs, and they don't steal as many bases because they don't need to. So they just hit bombs.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my mini rants. Speaking of bombs.
To me, also, I think to me it spoke to the level of disparity of talent on each roster too. Like the Rangers had all-stars up and down their roster. There was guys on the Diamondbacks I'd never heard of before this series that were on the team. So
there 3 or 4 of their starters I had never really heard of.
There's a reason that you can. There's a reason that one team hit more home runs is because they were a better team. So get out of here, John Smoltz, and I hope you get like Texas Ranger or the Ranger Nation just like subtweeted the crap out of John Smoltz.
Yeah. Also, there was only one team that had at one time there was 6 Texas Rangers on the field during the All-Star game, and that was the Texas Rangers. Diamondbacks did not have that. When we had Evaldi, Heim, Young, Simeon, Seager, and Garcia all on the field at the exact same time. So makes sense why we're the better team.
Yeah.
What's up, Jay?
I was just gonna add that the Diamondbacks had their rookie leading off. There's a leadoff hitter, so that says a lot. I feel like
great player. We did have a rookie with about 2 months of service time hitting 3-hole for us, so I'm not gonna necessarily say that was a bad thing that they had a rookie leading off.
I'm with you, but you said you didn't really know many other names, so I was just adding that too.
Yeah, no, and also I don't know why, but Corbin Carroll, he's a good player. He's very fast. He just looks like a douche. I feel like
he keeps that bat way back.
I don't like him. I don't like his look. Something about him. I don't know. Am I alone in that?
He's small, but he has a Peter Dinklage face.
Yeah, and he kind of, I think he wears his hat like tilted down or something. Yeah. I don't know.
He's a guy who knows he's good, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be one of those guys that I just don't like for no reason. Like he actually had a pretty bad series, I think. So it's not like he threatened the Rangers in any way, but I just don't like. And I've thought this way for the whole year, by the way. It's not just this series.
Okay.
So, all right, the spooky game, Halloween, kind of got scary there at the end, but the Rangers did score 5 in the second, 5 in the third, and then 1 in the 8th to win 11-7. Very happy, obviously, we got off to the big lead. It did tarnish it a little bit once the B and C bullpen came in, gave up some runs. Brock Burke just added to the roster, gave up 3. Will Smith, who despite being on his third World Series winning team in 3 years, did not earn his World Series this year and had to bring in Leclerc to close it out, which cool. I don't fine, but I was so happy the first half of this game, then got kind of sad the second half of the game. Is that
I
pretty much
I
the
missed it.
sentiment?
I missed it.
You
I
missed
don't.
it?
Well,
Where
I
were
missed
you?
the end and I missed like the beginning. I was giving out candy
Oh,
uh
yeah, yeah.
for Halloween, and I mean the candy went so fast that I actually caught the rest of the majority of this game. But we were up by so much that I just turned it off.
Yeah.
What 11,
I don't
11
blame
to
you.
1? And I was like, all right, we got this. Let's go.
It was
Game
10 to
5.
nothing at one point.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat as Jay, except that I watched it after the fact. The I was walking around the neighborhoods, and occasionally like I'd come across a house where they had the TV outside and they were watching the Rangers as they were passing out candy. So I was catching up scores and stuff like that. But so as I'm leaving to go home, I like pull up my phone real quick and check ESPN, and I see the end of the game. But I was like, wait a second, why is it 11-7? It was like 10-0 when I was walking around. So then
Yeah.
I did go back up and I did go back and rewatch the game. You know, what's cool about this game and what's going to stick out to me is that we hit for the cycle in 1 inning, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I did not know that. That's a fun
I
fact.
didn't know that either.
The
Wow.
team hit for the cycle in the that 5 run that what was it, the third inning that we scored or
Mhm.
second? Yeah.
Second and third, we scored 5.
Okay, so
All
we hit
all
for,
with all with 2 outs, by the way, which is wild.
Yeah.
Dang.
we hit a single, double, triple, and home run in the same inning, which is pretty cool. And so I'll remember that from this game. And I'll just remember walking around. I saw my pastor who was a Houston Astros fan, and so it was nice to get to rub the Rangers' success in his face a little bit.
Suck it.
Yeah,
Or sorry, I
exactly.
guess he's a pastor. In your face? Is that is that a better
I
thing to
don't
say
know.
to a pastor?
I just subtly just tell him that the Rangers are the best team in Texas.
Just like a head nod, like
Yeah,
you see
like, hey,
the game? You
you
see the
see,
game?
exactly. So no, it was cool. It was what was awesome is that all of a sudden we're up 3-1. You know, that was the game, right? Once you
Yeah.
get up 3-1, it's like I'm like the whole time. You know, the first game we won kind of in a walk off, and we were losing most of the game. Didn't feel great.
Mhm.
The second game that we won, it was tense the whole game, and I wouldn't say we didn't blow them out, like, and they had chances with their straining runners, and it was tense the whole game. So even though we were up 2-1 in the series, I didn't feel like it was we were had a stranglehold on the series by any means. So that game 4 win, making it 3-1, was just like, oh, we're going to win the World Series. And that was
Yep.
so that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the mindset. It's like, okay, when's it gonna happen? Which game is it?
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, speaking of, we'll get to game 6 or game 5 now. I think I said Rangers in 4. I'm pretty sure Cody at one point did say Rangers in 5, but then I talked him into Rangers in 4. So, is what it is. That's fine. Gentlemen's sweep, as they say. Quick overview, just like box score related. The Rangers did win the World Series. It's 5-0. Evaldi dealt. I guess you can say he dealt. I would call that dealing, but 6 innings, 4 hits. It had 5 walks, but no runs. And then Chapman and Saboris to close it out. Simeon had a bomb. Carter had a double. Seager had 2 hits that probably totaled 120 feet, maybe. Overall, we did win.
Alec Thomas letting that ground ball go through his legs.
Oh man, yeah.
Insane too.
Yeah.
But I just
Oh.
wanted to throw that in there as you were recapping the game.
Yeah,
I feel like
heartbreaker for Arizona.
I think that was the
moment.
that was when I said it's done. Like it's over. They're mentally effed. Yeah.
I did the same thing. I looked over at Courtney after that play, and I was like, "We're going to win the World Series." Like,
Yeah. That was, and then it was the next at bat, right? Or no? Was it the next at bat? No,
I think it was the 2 outs later when
no, sorry, no, because that was Heim. Yeah, Heim hit that ball, made it a
mhm.
triple. And then Simeon had the 2-run blast after
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah.
it was over. And honestly, like Simeon, I have never seen that dude. He might have showed the most emotion he's ever shown in his life. That was not the equivalent of a walk-off home run to win the World Series, but that was the biggest dagger. That's hitting the 3 with 15 seconds left to go up by 5, right, Cody?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's the dagger.
And it was so awesome for him because Marcus Simeon had a great season. I mean, I think he actually outscored Seager as far as WAR, like over like because he's a second baseman. Obviously, there's a lower threshold there, but whatever. He
Played more
had
games.
he had an amazing season, and he had a terrible postseason, just like horrible. He made some good defensive plays, but he did not hit the ball well. And for him to have had the season he had, didn't perform the way he wanted to in the postseason, but then comes up with the biggest hit at the biggest time is just awesome. And he's a good guy, and so that was awesome.
Yeah, it's and he hit 224 in the whole postseason, but despite looking like he struggled for a lot of the World Series, he did hit 292. Now most of that was in the last 2 games, I'll say, but possibly, one of the biggest home runs in Rangers history there, just to put him up 5-0 and kind of put the game away. But I will say this game to me was that this was a nail biter until that 9th inning where they put up 4. But the one like Garver getting the run, that was huge to hit that RBI in.
Yeah.
Shout out just real quick, and I'm going to be this guy. Zach Gallen was absolutely dealing. I think he had like 30 pitches through like 6 innings. It seemed like, I don't know. We were swinging at every first pitch. He was on fire.
He was killing it. I thought I was going to be in the whole game, and they pulled him, and I was like, dude, like his pitch count's so low.
I said out loud, I said after the Rangers got their first hit, I was like, he's done. Like he's like mentally, he was cooked, and I think that's exactly what happened. Where, because then he struggled after that, and that's when they're like, okay, like let's get him out of there. Pitch count was getting quote high in 2023 standards.
But damn, he went through 7 innings, and he did. He looked really good.
He did. He had no hitter through 6 innings. I think he had a first base run in the 5th, right? I think it was the 5th inning. Yeah,
I think it was the 7th. He had his first hit.
No, the first hit, but he did walk a guy. I think in the 5th. So
I thought Seager got it in the 7th. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
No, the hit versus having a runner on is different, Jay. So he had a no hitter through 6 innings, and he didn't give up a hit till the 7th, but he did walk somebody before that.
Gotcha.
He didn't. He did not have a perfect game going, but he might as well have because he was dealing, and it got you thinking. Like, I mean, not only that, but Eovaldi threw 6 innings, but man, he was in trouble every single inning.
Yes,
every single inning. It was like.
Go ahead.
They were one hit away from just like breaking the game open. I mean, several times they just needed one hit and it would be a 3-0 game all of a sudden. And they never got it. Credit to Eovaldi. He would like load the bases and then strike out a guy and then get a double play ball or like something like that. Like it was incredible. Like it's like he decided he wasn't going to start pitching until he was in trouble, but he did it and he was awesome.
Every inning, like the first batter either got a single, got walked, something, and he's behind, and they steal second base, and you're just like, oh, here's the inning where they're gonna score, and nothing. There's goose eggs the whole time. It's a complete opposite story from Gallen with Eovaldi, and yet the score was still 0-0. I was blown away.
It's the part of a pitcher that kind of gets forgotten about. It's the ability to get out of trouble. And obviously, if you're a good pitcher, every now and then you do get in trouble and you do get out of it. But he did it, I think, every single inning that he was in there.
Yeah.
And it was honestly incredible just to watch him get out of it. And he's still like, I mean, he came out, he got through 6 innings, had 97 pitches. And I mean, his control was a little bit off, but once he got guys on base, maybe just pitch better from the stretch. I don't know, but it was incredible. Do you guys know what would have been nice for the Diamondbacks to have in their bag during one of those, things? Hitting
A
a
home
home
run.
run.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that. And I was
I
like,
mean, they can't, but they couldn't because they don't have, that's not their style. Their style is running the bases and bunting, which is cute. It's a cute way to play.
It was
Power wins.
I gotta say, I didn't like, there's some teams you just hate, like, because you're playing them. After, like, the Astro series, like, the Diamondbacks were just, like, I didn't have any particular sort of feeling towards them. It was just
Yeah.
like, I want to beat them, but I didn't, like, hate them. I'm not going to be, like, cheering against the Diamondbacks the rest of my life, but it was awesome to beat them.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you lose to a team, then you kind of hate them, like the Giants and the Cardinals. I had no feelings really at all about either one of those teams. I actually kind of liked the Cardinals before that, but now they're one of my top 5 hated teams in the MLB. I'm like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Mostly David Freese. I also don't like Albert Pujols either, but he also went to the Angels after that, so that probably added on a little bit there. But
Well, it was great when he went to the Angels because he continued to torpedo
actually
their
that's
franchise.
true. Just don't sign with the Angels if you're a free agent. But yeah, so Rangers 4 in the 9th to make it 5-0. Kept Sabores in there to close it out, which I really liked.
Yeah, no, I mean he was dealing. There was no reason to change it up at that point, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're up 5. You got a guy who just thrown 2 shutout innings. Like, let him go out there and see if he can close out. He certainly did. We got some help on a few calls, but that was okay. That last pitch, I don't know how you take for strike 3 on like you if
it was a
that
good
ball was,
pitch.
yeah, but if that ball is even like
Close, yeah.
yeah, like as long as he doesn't throw it to first base, you gotta swing. Like
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah.
end of the World Series. So,
Yeah.
But it was awesome that he got a K looking to end this World Series, and the joy. Like, honestly, man, like the way I was thinking about it, I'm like, if I'm a pitcher, that's the go-to move. You just slam your glove.
Yeah.
Like you win, you pull it off, and you just like spike it
Yeah.
like you're Rob Gronkowski.
Oh man, so much emotion in that throw with the glove.
Jay, tell us at the moment we got the final strike. Tell us about the stadium experience. What, like, just chaos?
First off, it was immediate fireworks, and you're like,
oh,
boom! You're like, what? Like, I've got a video where I'm filming the last. I was trying to film the last strike, and I got it, and then boom, the fireworks go off, and my phone's just shaking. Crowd's going wild. People are. I would say like a handful of people stormed the field, and the security was terrible. Absolute terrible. Like the oldest guys on the field trying to prevent this, and these guys are just running from point to point, and it was it was so electric, guys. That's it. It was just electric.
That's awesome.
Electric.
Honestly, like the stadium experience, and I can't imagine. This is actually the first time, other than last year when some other team won the World Series. They won at home, but like the last 9 World Series wins before that had all been on the road. So it's kind of like a weird thing that happens where the home team doesn't get to enjoy like the full experience, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I will, like, Arizona, those crowds were great. They obviously were pulling more for their team, but it did get pretty loud when Rangers did good things. So we traveled well. Phoenix is kind of one of those cities that I think there's a lot of, explants coming in, from other places. So maybe that's the reason why as well. But yeah, Jay, I'm a little. Did I said explants, didn't I?
Yeah.
I think I put in like expats for some reason. That was in my brain. Transplants.
Transplants. Well, I mean, the
Immigrants.
No.
No? Okay.
Anytime we play the Arizona Cardinals at Arizona, it's like 90% Cowboys fans. So maybe those people are also Texas
There you
Rangers
go.
fans.
There you go.
We were trying to haul out of there from the stadium, and the line to like the souvenir shop was out the door. Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe people were in that line, but I get it. Totally get it. We get in the car, driving away.
Got to get me
I'm
one.
screaming. I got the windows down. Screaming like crazy. Rangers win. Dude, I can't believe my voice is this good the day after.
So
Yeah.
are you? I'm trying to figure out the play here, Mark. So I'm
Yep.
going.
Okay.
I looked at MLB Shop, and I'm
Yep.
looking at like what's the play here. So I don't have an academy out here that can just run and get like Rangers World Series T-shirt that's like $20, right? So
Uh-huh.
I'm probably gonna go to MLB Shop. I'm thinking either a hoodie or a long sleeve shirt. Are you thinking just regular T-shirt, huh?
I'm going regular t-shirt so I can wear it year round. I didn't even see the other shirts until I looked online today, but I do just like the gray ones that they had on the field. Because when they
Yeah.
put them on the field, I was like, those are pretty dope. I like that.
Yeah.
And there's like 10 different styles of t-shirts probably that say World Series champs on there. But I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna go with that. Also full disclosure, I have like let's see how many things. I have a total of 8 things in my cart right now. I got to narrow it
Wow.
down.
How
I
many
have
hats?
I
I have
I
one.
am looking at hat. Where are you going with
Okay,
hat?
you want me to, I'll actually tell you about my hat situation because so the last time we went to the World Series, right when we got it, I got the one that they wear on the field. It just says World Series on there with the patch on the side. This year I said, you know what? I'm not going to get one of those. I'm going to wait and get like a World Series champions one. And they actually have a World Series champions patch just on like the standard on-field 5950 hat. That's what I like. I know you kind of do the Kurt Bill sometimes too,
Yeah.
but I think my personal play is going to be waiting to get the hat until beginning of next season when they wear like the gold trimmed ones in some
Oh
sort of way. The championship teams always
yeah.
do that. And then they have the logo on the side. So I think hat wise, I'm going to wait for that.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's good play. I hoodie. Maybe just because I'm in hoodie season here in California, that
Yeah.
I'm thinking that that's the play. But they're also like $80 versus like a T-shirt,
Yeah.
which is like 30, 40.
It's
So
it's still $40. Actually, yeah. Actually, yours, if you do big and tall, it'll probably be like 45. So
yeah.
but
Well,
I have
either way,
I
it's in the shopping cart.
yeah, it's in I have I haven't decided yet. I have like a World Series, like one of the locker room flags that says World Series champions on there with the logo. And then I have like a World Series gift box in there with like a koozie, a pennant, a flag, and then the on-field, hat that they wore.
Yeah.
I got a mug, I got a glass, I got a koozie, I got something for Alex in there. Like, I got lots of stuff that I haven't decided which ones I'm gonna get yet. But
I'm with you. I'm with you, Cody. The sweater or the long sleeve. That would be kind of my favorite choice.
that's your
I'm
play.
I'm even looking at this black hoodie with the gold.
It's pretty sweet, right? I saw that too.
That's dope too. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I may just get one of everything, except I feel like I'm gonna get I'm not gonna be able to do that. It's also, I mean, just expensive. But I understand like the Rangers win the World Series, but like $40 for a t-shirt. I mean, I think that's probably my limit right there. And then wait a little bit, get some more swag to like, put in the office. Things like that, just to kind of swag. I'm gonna swag out my Zoom background eventually. That's kind of my plan here. So I gotta go. I gotta get a newspaper.
Yeah. That's on the list.
Oh
Are you
man,
too late?
You think they still have them?
You have to go get like 50 cents and put it in one of those machines.
Oh crap, man! I forgot I thought about it yesterday and I forgot it today.
Head to Kroger.
Kroger's got some newspapers.
I'm sure they got newspapers. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna Google Dallas Morning News.
All right. While you do that, let's do. Do we want to do any NFL or not? I'm a little tight on time now, so.
Yeah, I mean we can't. Let's recap from last week. Cowboys beat a bad team.
There we go.
Cool.
That's yeah.
Yep. Next week though, or this coming week, this is the biggest game of the year in my opinion. We got the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jay.
Hey, I remember last week I wanted to pick the Commanders. I did, but we all ended up picking up the Eagles, the obvious choice. The Commanders gave them a run for their money, which I had a feeling they always do. It's a divisional game. Cowboys, Eagles. I feel like we could be the one to give them another loss and make this whole division a coin flip. That's my thoughts.
Okay. Cody?
I'm not as optimistic given our track record against good teams this year, but the Eagles do seem to struggle within the division. They have not played a good game in the division yet. They've won, but they've also not looked good against bad teams, the Giants and the Commanders. So if that trend continues, the Cowboys are definitely good enough to go in there and steal it. Dak 4 TD passes last week. Is he back? Is Dak back? No.
It's the consistency thing. I gotta see it. It was the Rams. It was a big defensive game. I don't know. I gotta see Dak have a comeback game, a solid comeback game, and be consistent.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna lose. I mean, let's all be honest with each other here. They're gonna lose.
No, I'm gonna be optimistic.
We'll probably lose by 20 because that's what we do when we play a good team. And the Eagles they're better than us at every facet of the game. They traded for Kevin Byard, so their safeties are, shored up. We did nothing. So I got Eagles winning 40-20.
Oh, ugly. I think our defense keeps them under 30. Well, for sure.
Nope. You know what? The Texas Rangers won the World Series. Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I've been the pessimist in this podcast for too long.
Yeah.
The Rangers have
switched roles.
My heart. They have cured my heart. They have healed everything. The Mavericks are 4-0. I know we don't talk about basketball right now, but the Mavericks are 4-0. They're winning the NBA Finals. Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Stars winning the Stanley Cup. Let's go. That's it.
All right, City of Champions. I think I got it mixed up. I said the Cowboys are going to win 40-20, guys. Let's go. I'm back.
Gosh, these vibes on today's podcast. I'm loving them. Bring them every day.
Back on the Cowboys. Let's go. Dak's going to throw 6 touchdown passes. We'll miss a couple extra points. Whatever. All right.
Jalen Hurts is going to throw 3 interceptions.
That's right. Okay. Well, guys, excellent. This is by far our best podcast ever. I think we can agree on that, right? Yeah. Today, we're recording this on November 2nd. The Texas Rangers are still World Series champions. We did it, boys. We did it.
Astros
suck. So, all right. Well, shout out our sponsor, Shine. Oh, you got something else, Jay?
No, I was just gonna say, did y'all notice that we won all the road games?
Road Dogs.
And road spells out the Rays, Orioles, Astros, and Diamondbacks.
Where's the R?
The Rays.
Oh, okay. You said I was thinking about it. That's
crazy. The acronym for road, spells out Rays, Orioles, Astros, Diamondbacks.
Oh man,
isn't that weird?
You kind of jumbled my brain for a second there, but that is
out there pretty
absolutely
quickly.
Wild.
That's
Jay. That's crazy.
That is, mind blown. We're just the best team. It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
This part is going on the social media because that was wild. That was wild. So shout out the Road Dog Rangers. Shout out Shiner Beer. Made in Texas for the Texas Rangers. Still World Series champions. We are World Series champions. Guys, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions. And we'll see everybody next week.
Guys, it's 5:25 Pacific time. The Rangers are world champions and the Astros still suck. Let's go.
Let's go. Suck it, Astros. Rangers are World Series champs. Peace.
Peace.